Some of these are confirmed, some are leaks from patent offices and spy photographers, and one of them, if it actually hits production, would redraw the entire motorcycle market from the top down. Right now, across Honda, Kawasaki, BMW, Harley-Davidson, and a handful of Chinese brands you probably still underestimate, there are 14 motorcycles and technologies either confirmed for 2026 or 2027, shown as prototypes, spotted testing, patented, or strongly rumored. Dealers across Europe, Japan, and the United States are already doing the math on what these bikes mean for the inventory sitting on their showroom floors. So why did this particular stretch of the product cycle send a chill through the industry? Because for the first time in decades, the disruption is coming from every direction at once. Let us get into all 14. Number 1. The Honda Vive 3R900E compressor. This is the one that made the entire EICMA 2025 show floor go quiet. Honda unveiled a 75-degree 900 cubic centimeters V3 engine with a world-first electronically controlled compressor designed specifically for motorcycles. The prototype wore full Street Fighter bodywork, a single-sided swing arm, and the new Honda flagship wing badge that will appear on their top-tier models going forward. Here is what makes this wild. Honda claims the e-compressor gives this 900 cubic centimeter engine the performance characteristics of a naturally aspirated 1200, that is liter bike territory, from a smaller, lighter, more emissions-friendly package. Honda has confirmed development toward mass production, with Europe widely reported as the likely first market by 2027. This is not a concept sketch collecting dust. Honda showed this twice. At EICMA 2024 as a standalone engine, and at EICMA 2025 in full prototype form. And this is where things get interesting for every other manufacturer. If Honda can pull 1,200 cubic centimeter class performance from a 900 cubic centimeter engine with forced induction, the conversation around traditionally aspirated liter bikes sitting on dealer floors changes overnight. Number 2. The CFMoto 1000 V4 SRRR. A Chinese-built V4 superbike. I know, stay with me. CFMoto showed the prototype at EICMA 2025, previewing a forthcoming production superbike with a 997 cubic centimeters, 90-degree V4, claiming over 210 horsepower at 14,500 revolutions per minute. Counter-rotating crankshaft, Brembo GP4 MotoGP brake hardware, active aerodynamic winglets that adjust angle based on speed and braking. Claimed curb weight under 200 kilograms. That is a genuine 1-to-1 power-to-weight ratio if the production numbers hold. Now this is still a prototype. Final production specs and pricing have not been confirmed. But based on CFMoto's existing pricing strategy with models like the SRK 921RR, early estimates suggest the production version will land well below Italian superbike money. For context, a Ducati Panigale V4 starts around $26,000 in the United States. An Aprilia RSV4 factory is in that same neighborhood. If CFMoto delivers anything close to those claimed specs at their typical price points, European sport bike dealers have a serious problem heading their way. Number 3. The BMW F450 GS. BMW officially presented this as a new model in November 2025, confirmed as a 2027 production bike. It is an all-new 420 cubic centimeters parallel twin developed with TVS in India, producing 48 horsepower. The version coming to the United States is the GS Trophy, which gets KYB sport suspension, cross-spoke wheels, a new easy ride clutch that works like a centrifugal automatic, and a full 6-axis inertial measurement unit with ABS Pro and dynamic traction control. BMW also confirmed the G310 GS is being retired, making the F450 GS their new entry-level adventure bike. That puts it head-to-head with the KTM 390 Adventure, the Royal Enfield Himalayan 450, and the Honda NX 500, but it carries the GS badge. And in the adventure bike world, that badge carries serious weight. BMW dealers are thrilled. Everyone else selling small adventure bikes is less so. Number 4. The Harley-Davidson Sprint. Harley confirmed this bike for 2027, and it represents the most dramatic shift in Harley's product strategy in decades. The Sprint is built on the Hero X440 platform from India. That means an oil-cooled, single-cylinder engine, likely around 440 cubic centimeters, making roughly 27 horsepower. a trellis frame, cruiser ergonomics, and a target price under $10,000. Now here is the asterisk. When former CEO Jochen Zeitz first announced this bike in July 2025, the target was under $6,000. By the time Harley presented its updated strategy in early 2026 under CEO Artie Starrs, that target had quietly crept up to below $10,000. The bike also slipped from 2026 to 2027. So the idea of a $6,000 Harley appears to be exactly that, a dream. The bigger question is whether Harley's existing dealer network, which watched the Street 500 and Street 750 fail, will actually get behind an India-built single-cylinder cruiser wearing the bar and shield. That is an internal tension nobody at Harley wants to talk about publicly. Number 5, the Harley-Davidson Sportster Revival. This one gets complicated. Under Artie Starrs and the Back to the Bricks strategic plan, Harley has strongly signaled a revived, lower-priced Sportster-style model, a revival targeting around $10,000. Early industry reporting points to an updated air-cooled platform with an 883 cubic centimeter engine, reminiscent of the Evolution Sportster, and teaser imagery evoking the old 48. But final specs and engine details still need official confirmation from Harley. Here is why dealers are already sweating even before the details are locked in. Used Evolution Sportsters have held their value precisely because Harley killed the platform. Any revival compresses used values across every single Harley dealership in the country. It also raises an awkward question about the Nightster, which runs on the newer Revolution Max engine and has not exactly been flying off showroom floors. Are Harley dealers now supposed to stock the Sprint, a revived Sportster, and the Nightster all at once? That is a lot of entry-level inventory for a brand that has historically sold one Sportster variant at a time. If you are keeping count, that is 5 bikes, and we have not left the confirmed or strongly signaled category yet. Pay attention to this next one, because it explains a lot about where the premium sport bike market is heading. Norton, now owned by Indian conglomerate TVS, revealed the Manx R at EICMA 2025 and confirmed full specs and pricing in May 2026. We are talking an all-new 1,200 cubic centimeters, 72-degree V4, making 206 horsepower. 4 trim levels range from the base model up to a titanium first edition, Bosch 6-axis, IMU, an 8-inch TFT touchscreen, and a class first feature for a superbike, cornering cruise control. Pricing starts around £20,250 in the United Kingdom, which works out to roughly the mid-20,000s in United States dollars before any market-specific adjustments. That undercuts the Ducati Panigale V4 significantly. United Kingdom deliveries started in June 2026, with United States availability confirmed for later the same year. Between the Norton Manx R attacking from the premium side and the CFMoto V4 SRRR attacking from below, the established European superbike pairing of Ducati and Aprilia is suddenly facing pressure from 2 directions it did not anticipate. KTM's first road-going sport bike since they ended the RC8 back in 2015. The street-legal 990 RCR runs a 947cc parallel twin making 130 horsepower. The track variant bumps that to 135 horsepower with an Akrapovic exhaust, removes the anti-lock braking system, and adds a MotoGP-derived TFT display. Reports from Visordown indicate Jonas Folger is testing the bike with the Freudenberg team for a potential 2027 World SSP-style race debut. This matters because the middleweight sport bike category has been slowly dying. The Yamaha R6 is gone. The Kawasaki ZX-6R is limited production. Honda CBR600RR barely exists outside Japan. KTM is betting that a twin-cylinder sport bike with racing credentials can revive a segment that inline 4s are abandoning. Now, KTM's financial troubles, including insolvency proceedings, do raise questions about production consistency. Dealers love the bike on paper, but they are watching the restructuring closely before placing big orders. Now we're moving from confirmed announcements into the leaks, patents, and spy shots. If you're finding this useful, hit subscribe. We cover motorcycle industry news and breakdowns every single week. Number 8. The Royal Enfield Himalayan 750. Multiple spy shots across India and Europe over the past 2 years show a heavily reworked version of Royal Enfield's 648 cubic centimeters parallel twin, bored out to an estimated 750 cubic centimeters. Test mules have been spotted with inverted front forks, dual front disc brakes, a circular TFT display, and alloy 17-inch wheels on what appears to be a touring variant. Royal Enfield has been quiet about this one publicly. A production reveal is widely expected around EICMA 2026, with a global rollout fitting the 2027 model year window. If Royal Enfield prices this the way they have priced everything else, we are looking at a middleweight adventure tourer that could undercut the Kawasaki Versys 650, the Triumph Tiger Sport 660, and the Yamaha Tenere 700 by a significant margin. The Himalayan 450 already reshaped the small adventure category. This bike could do the same thing one class up. Number 9. The Yamaha CP3 Electric Turbo Patent. Fresh patent filings from Yamaha show an electric turbocharger fitted to what appears to be their CP3 three-cylinder engine. Earlier Yamaha patents from 2019 through 2021 detailed a turbocharged 847 cubic centimeter triple projecting around 180 horsepower and 176 newton meters of torque. That is power and torque rivaling the MT-10 and the Hayabusa from an engine the size of the MT-09. Yamaha is now the third Japanese manufacturer with active forced induction patent work for motorcycles, alongside Honda and Kawasaki. Patents alone do not guarantee production, but the depth and continuity of Yamaha's filings across several years suggests something more serious than a defensive patent grab. If Yamaha ever turns this into a production model at the MT-09 displacement level, it could redefine what buyers expect from a middleweight across every showroom. Number 10. The MV Agusta 5-cylinder square engine. This one is the wild card of the entire list. MV Agusta debuted a 5-cylinder engine concept at EICMA 2025 with a configuration nobody has tried before. It has 3 cylinders on one crankshaft in the front and 2 on a second crankshaft behind, arranged in a U-shape sharing 1-cylinder head. Modular displacement ranges from 850 to 1,150 cubic centimeters. MV claims over 240 horsepower at 16,000 plus revolutions per minute and up to 135 newton meters at 8,500 revolutions per minute, all from an engine weighing under 60 kilograms. MV says this engine will debut on a highly anticipated model that is currently no longer in the lineup. Most observers read that as a possible revived F4 or an entirely new flagship. MV says the engine will appear in the coming years, but that is not the same as confirmed 2027 production. And with MV's recent financial volatility and partial acquisition by Pure Mobility, the timeline is anyone's guess. I love MV, but I have been burned before by Italian promises and a vague timeline. Still, 240 horsepower from 5 cylinders in a package under 60 kilograms? If this happens, it changes the meaning of exotic motorcycle. Number 11. The Triumph Tiger 950. Spy shots published by MCN and Bike Whale in early 2026 show what is clearly a successor to the Tiger 900. The test mule was photographed in Spain wearing both front and rear radar units, which would make it one of the first middleweight adventure bikes with dual radar capability. Adaptive cruise control and front collision warning are heavily implied by that hardware. A larger engine, likely around 950 cubic centimeters, and a revised frame are also visible. Triumph has been a major player in the middleweight adventure segment with the Tiger 900. A Tiger 950 with full dual radar would leapfrog most competitors, including BMW's F800 GS Adventure, on technology. That is the kind of spec gap that makes buyers put down their deposit and wait, instead of buying what is on the floor today. Number 12. The CFMoto SRK 921 and SRK 1051RR. CFMoto is the in-house brand of Zhejiang Qianjiang, a major Chinese motorcycle manufacturer. They launched the SRK 921 in the United Kingdom at a price of about £8,700, roughly $11,000. The engine is a 921 cubic centimeter inline 4 derived from the MV Agusta F4 1000 design through a licensing agreement, making nearly 128 horsepower with full Brembo brakes, fully adjustable Marzocchi suspension, and a Bosch 6-axis inertial measurement unit. The upcoming SRK 1051RR bumps displacement to 1,051 cubic centimeters and 144 horsepower. To put that pricing in perspective, the SRK 921 undercuts the Yamaha MT-09 in the United Kingdom by over 1,000 pounds, while offering more cylinders, more torque, and cruise control. Japanese brands will struggle to match that spec per pound equation without taking serious margin pressure. Dealers carrying Z900 and MT-09 inventory should be watching their residual values carefully. Number 13. The Aprilia Touareg 457. This is the most speculative entry on the list, so treat it accordingly. A smaller Touareg built around Aprilia's 457 cubic centimeters parallel twin from the RS 457 has been rumored for some time. The logic makes sense. Aprilia has the engine, the adventure bike platform experience from the Touareg 660, and a market full of small adventure bike competitors to attack. But Aprilia has not officially confirmed a Touareg 457 for production. What is confirmed is that Aprilia's racing efforts in events like the Africa Eco Race remain centered on the Touareg rally platform based on the 660. So until Aprilia shows a smaller Touareg with its own chassis and production intent, file this one under strong rumor, not yet real. If it does materialize, it would compete directly with the Royal Enfield Himalayan 450, the KTM 390 Adventure, and the BMW F450 GS. Kawasaki remains the only manufacturer with mass-produced strong hybrid motorcycles on the market. The Ninja 7 Hybrid and Z7 Hybrid are receiving ongoing updates to extend the usability of their electric-only mode, which in earlier versions was limited to very low speeds. Kawasaki is also working to make the hybrid system feel more natural across the full power range. Separately, Kawasaki has publicly confirmed continued development of liquid hydrogen internal combustion technology for motorcycles. Combined with their existing supercharged H2 and H2SX platform, Kawasaki is investing more broadly in alternative powertrains than any other Japanese motorcycle manufacturer. Now, some motorcycle media has suggested that future European Union emissions regulations could make this hybrid and hydrogen work extremely valuable. And that may be true eventually, but the timeline for stricter motorcycle emission standards is less certain than you might think from reading the headlines. Current motorcycles fall under Euro 5, and while tighter regulations have been discussed at the European Union level, there is no confirmed date for a Euro 6 motorcycle standard that would pull naturally aspirated bikes from approval by 2027. Kawasaki's work is forward-thinking and could pay off significantly down the line, but it is not an emergency cliff for traditional bikes this year or next. So here's the big picture. 3 structural forces are converging around this product cycle. First, Chinese manufacturers aren't just the cheap option anymore. CFMoto's V4 prototype, QJ Motors' MV-derived inline 4s, and several others are chasing premium segments with credible engineering, European brake and suspension components, and pricing that established brands are going to struggle to match. Second, forced induction is making a comeback across the Japanese Big Four. Honda's V3 e-compressor is the furthest along, but Yamaha's e-turbo patents and Kawasaki's supercharged and hydrogen work all point the same direction. When production forced induction middleweights arrive, naturally aspirated current model year bikes are going to age quickly in buyers' minds. And third, the entry-level segment is being completely rebuilt from the bottom up, and nearly all of it is being manufactured in India. The BMW F450 GS is TVS built. The Harley Sprint is Hero built. The Royal Enfield Himalayan needs no introduction. The Triumph 400 lineup is Bajaj built. These are sub-$10,000 motorcycles wearing premium Western badges, and they fundamentally change what a buyer expects for their money. For anyone shopping for a motorcycle right now, this is genuinely one of the most exciting product cycles in the last 20 years. For dealers sitting on 2025 and 2026 inventory though, the math is getting uncomfortable. YouTube thinks you'll like this video next, and honestly, so do I. Click it, and if you made it this far, subscribe. We break down the bikes and the business behind them every week.